Hey guys, happy Friday. So for today, I have a Hobby Lobby inspired DIY and then just another little simple fun DIY that I wanted to make. So you're going to need some cardboard. I use this egg carton cardboard for everything because I like the ridges in it and it works out perfectly all the time. So, I use it for everything. If you've seen any of my other videos, you've seen these. Then I'm using these little gingerbread foam cutouts from the Dollar Tree. Just going to trace two of them on the back of the cardboard and then cut them out I'm using an X-Acto knife, but you can use your scissors or whatever you have. So then once you have them cut out, I'm going to be using this fabric that's also from the Dollar Tree. I got it from the Crafters Square section. And they just come in these little rolls. They're like, I don't know, 20 inches by 20 or something like that. But you can use any fabric or felt or even scrapbook paper, anything, that you have on hand. You can even color them if you want to. But I'm just going to trace out the bottom part of the gingerbread man. This one is going to be the boy, so I'm sorry, I think I hit the camera with my hair. So sorry about the moving camera here. And I'm just going to trace it out. One of them's going to be a boy, one of them's going to be a girl. So this one I'm going to do a like skirt shape. So you go out just a little bit wider there, maybe like a half an inch out from the gingerbread, and then just make like I don't know what you want to call this shape, a cylinder, half of a cylinder, I don't know. So then I'm using this rotary knife that I got from the Dollar Tree, and guys, I love this rotary knife. It's awesome. So if you can find them, definitely grab one. And then you're just going to take it, you're going to cut out the pieces, and that's all I did as far as that's concerned. I'm only going to use one side, like I'm only going to cover up one side of the gingerbread with cloth, so you only need, one piece for each of them. And like I said, you can use scrapbook paper, you can use fabric that you have at home. Whatever you have. So for the skirt, I just made a pleat on each side. And guys, I'm not a seamstress. I'm none of that. So if I can do this, you can do it definitely. So I just made a pleat on each side and then I hot glued the skirt onto the gingerbread girl. And then she needed a top. So I have tons and tons of ribbon. If you can see to the left there, I've just got bags of like ribbon that I've collected from different things. And I think this piece of red ribbon was actually from like a gift that I received because it had like tape on it. So it had to be from probably a gift or something that I received. So I'm just going to measure out the top for it. And once I got a little piece that was big enough, I took the rotary knife and kind of lightly went over it, like the shape of it, so that I can get the right shape. And I didn't want to cut through, so I just took my X-Acto knife and kind of went over it to make a marking on there. And then I cut, the piece with the rotary knife. And once that was done, I just hot glued the shirt or the top onto the gingerbread girl, and that was it for her shirt. So I wanted her to have like overalls or suspenders, and usually they have like these little overalls on the girls or aprons or I don't know what they are. So once I glued her shirt on, I had some like lime green because I couldn't find a green to match her skirt better. So I had this lime green little strand of ribbon. That's what it's called. It's called a ribbon. And I used that like as a belt, and then I made her some little like suspenders or whatever the overall for the dress. And I just hot glued everything onto her. Of course, you could use tacky glue or double-sided tape or, anything that you have. You could probably just use Elmer's glue. If there's like fabric glue that you have, I know Dollar Tree has this little white tube in the Crafter's Square, and it's like a fabric glue. And that stuff works really, really well for pretty much anything. So, if you can find that, that would work too. It's just a really small bottle, so I don't buy it very often. but it has a very small nozzle, so it works great for little projects like this. So I mean, that's just a recommendation there. But like I said, you can use tacky glue, Elmer's glue, hot glue, tape, whatever you have. So I'm gonna go ahead, glue the little suspenders on underneath her shirt. And then once I'm done doing that, I'm gonna give her a belt using that same green ribbon, and I'm just gonna glue the belt to the back of the what's this stuff called? Cardboard. Sorry. I lost my train of thought there. But yeah, so just gonna, glue it on there. And like I said, I'm not a seamstress. So if I can do this, anybody can do this. And this would be a good project to do with like your kids, just for any day before Christmas, and you can use these things as ornaments, or you can just use them as like on tier trays. You can make them as big or as small as you want. I mean, I just used the cutout from Dollar Tree, so that's why these are just a little bit bigger. I don't know how you would feel about putting these on your tree because they are pretty big. But I guess if you have a big tree or you don't mind the big ornaments on there, they can be ornaments, and you just take some jute twine or some ribbon and make a little loop and glue that to like the back of the head, I guess, and use it as a I burned my finger. And just use it as a hanger there. So then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get this I think it's called Rickrack or something like that. I don't know. I got it from Target a few years ago, and I don't use it very often, but it's, the little squigglies that the gingerbread people usually have on their arms and feet. So I'm just going to take that, I'm going to cut some pieces off, and I'm going to glue them on both the arms and both the legs. And just, be very careful if you're using the hot glue, because I burn myself all the time. But so yeah, so I'm just going to cut 4 pieces out, and I'm going to glue them onto both hands and both feet. And then I'm going to take, excuse me, I'm going to take a black marker and make some eyeballs. I was going to put little googly eyes on it, but it didn't look right. So I just used my marker and put some eyeballs on her. And then I'm going to take this red bead and put the nose on there, and take my white paint marker and make a smile. And then just to finish her off, what I'm going to use is I have this little pack of bows that I got from the Dollar Tree at the beginning of the Christmas, season, or whenever they started putting Christmas stuff out, because I haven't seen them since the beginning of like the Christmas decoration season. But these little bows that they have at Dollar Tree, and I guess they're supposed to be like little decorative bows, but they're really small, and they are perfect for this project. So, like I said, this is just a white paint pen, acrylic paint pen, and I can put these in the description box below if you want to know where I got these. I got them on Amazon, and they weren't expensive at all. So these are the little bows that I was talking about. Obviously, if you are a bow maker, you can make a bow, but I do not like making bows. I'm not very good at it. So I like when I find cute ones that are already made, and I can use those. So I'm going to just hot glue the little bow on her head, and that is it for my girl gingerbread. And then I'm going to start working on the boy. And I'm not going to show you all the steps for this one because they're pretty much the same, but I will show you how I made his little shorts. I'm going to cut slits into the short. Sorry, my daughter is doing e-learning in the background there. Um, so let's see. So I'm just going to cut slits on here. And do you guys remember like the paper dress-up dolls from back in the day? That's how they cut the little slits on there. So that is all I'm doing. Then I'm just going to hot glue the shorts onto the gingerbread guy. And like I said, I'm just going to take some hot glue and glue the little tabs to the back of the gingerbread guy. And once I was done doing that, I'm going to take I think I used red ribbon for his suspenders, and I'm just going to tie that or glue that onto the back as well. And I put some buttons on there and just, gave him some details. And I used that same Rickrack and did the same thing on his hands and legs, and made his little face the same way that I made the girl. So I'm not going to show all of that. But like I said, the steps are the same. So here I'm just taking the little red ribbon. And of course, you can use whatever you have if you want it to be more rustic, which I considered doing. And then you could just use like twine and burlap and stuff like that. But I kind of liked that and I had this fabric and I kind of liked the thought of it having some colorful clothes. So I just went ahead and used the fabric and stuff that I had. So again, I'm just going to take the suspenders, put them on him. Then I'm going to do all the same details like I did with the girl. And then I'm going to take the foam pieces that I used to trace and I'm just going to put them on the back just to give it a more finished look because the back of it looks kind of funky, but you can paint it, you can use scrapbook paper, you can just use regular like plain paper, whatever you have, or felt or anything like that. Or you could cut out another one and glue the cardboard on the back so that it looks the same on the back and the front. And then I'm just taking the rotary cutter and cutting off any of the extra or excess foam. And that's it, guys. Look how cute they came out. I love these. So now on to my open invites. I have the Keep It Simple Sunday Challenge and the Salvage Saturday coming up. Keep It Simple is December 13th at 1 p.m. And here are the rules. I'll also have these in the description box. And my co-host for that one is Connie's Nails and Creative Creations. And Salvage Saturday is December 19th at 1 p.m. And I have my co-host as Monner's Market, Brenda Smith Cochran. Guys, they're both amazing. So like I said, I'll have all that information in the description box. And so for my next one, I'm going to be using one of these signs from the Dollar Tree that you can find like in Fun Finds. And I think I've said this before. I don't like sanding down like the pictures that are on these things. So the way that I take them off is I get a wet towel or paper towels, just sit them on top of it, just let it sit for a little while, let the sign soak up the water, and then you're able to just like peel it off or scrape it off very, very easily. And then you just use your towel, wipe off any of the excess glue, and let it dry. It is a process, but it works way better than scraping it off. And I just like having a clean surface to work with. So for this one, I'm just going to take some white paint and paint the whole thing. And it took like 3 coats of this paint. I didn't have any chalk paint made or any Waverly, so I just went ahead and used some regular acrylic paint. And like I said, it took like 3 or 4 coats. And I just, coated it nice and well. And then I did both sides of that flip part of it and just made sure that it was covered. I did the edges and all of that. And once it's done drying, I think it looks, it's fine. And like I said, I just like having the clean surface rather than trying to scrape off all that or sand off all the glitter and stuff that these signs usually have on them. I do not like glitter, so I try to avoid it. But once it's done drying, I'm just going to take I was going to use my Cricut, but I didn't feel like pulling it out. So and I have all these stickers and stencils that I buy and then I never use them. So I'm going to go ahead and use this stencil that I got at Dollar Tree, but of course you can use anything that you have. And if you have really good handwriting, by all means, you can write this out. I considered using these stickers, but they were so colorful and I didn't feel like having to like paint them and do all that. So I'm just going to use the stencil and I'm going to stencil out, "Dear Santa, please stop here, I've been." And for these stencils, the ones that are like separated like this, after I'm done stenciling it out, I like to connect the sections of the word, if that makes any sense. So you see how the D is separated at the line and on the bottom there. I like to connect them. So that's just a personal preference. If you like the way that they look, then obviously you can leave them just like that. But I like to connect them. So once I'm done once I'm done stenciling those out, I'm going to use a red paint pen, one of my acrylic paint pens, and I'm just going to trace over all the letters. And again, you can do whatever you want. A Cricut obviously would be much easier, and then you can use different fonts and, do a bunch of different stuff. But I really just didn't feel like pulling my Cricut out, honestly. So that's all there was to that one. But again, so you just keep, stenciling and like, of course, stickers, or if you can find a cute like bag that has something on it, you can cut the bag out, glue that on there. I mean, there's so many different options for things that you can do for this type of stuff. So, um, again, you do whatever you want to do. But once I was done doing that, I just went ahead, like I said, took my red paint pen and traced over that. And then I went ahead and I just took my pencil and I wrote the rest of the sign out, or at least the top part of it. I just took my pencil and then I traced over that with a Sharpie. But again, if you have stickers that fit, or if you have your Cricut, I mean, that's why I like projects like this. You can pretty much do whatever you want to do. And I was trying to figure out a way to use these stickers, but they were bigger than I needed them to be. So I ended up just writing it out and then tracing it. And then these little stencils, I didn't really like the way the letters looked. So I said, forget it. And my handwriting is not the best. So bear with me. It is what it is. I tried as far as the writing is concerned. Um, and then, like I said, I just wrote, Dear Santa, please stop here. I've been, period, period, period. And then on the little flip part of it, I'm going to write or use the stickers and put naughty or nice. And then once I'm done putting the stickers on both sides, and make sure that you just flip the thing, flip the little flip part of it rather than flipping the sign, because then you're going to end up putting it on upside down. So learn from my mistake. I've done it before using these signs. So just leave it like that and flip it, flip the little flippy part. Does that make any sense? I don't know. So then once I'm done putting naughty and nice on there, I'm just going to take my paint pens and I'm going to trace along the outside of the sign, or I guess not the outside, the border of the sign. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a black paint pen and I'm going to trace the border of the sign. And then I'm going to take a green paint pen and I'm going to trace like the little flippy part of it just to give it a little border, give it a little bit of an accent, on there. Nothing spectacular. I just thought it gave it a little bit extra of a finished look, extra of a finished. I thought it gave it a more finished look. And once I was done doing that, I just added a little hanger to the sign, and that was it, guys. This one was so simple and fun. And like I said, I mean, you can do pretty much anything you want with these signs. They work out really, really well. I have one in my kitchen, or had one. I took it down because it's Christmas, so I'm putting all my Christmas stuff up in there. But I had one that said the kitchen is closed, and then I flipped it and it was open. So, I mean, these signs are really versatile. So when I have a few of them down in my stash so I can make different things with them. And I wanted to do the whole border for naughty, but the letters were too far. I mean, um, the word was too long. So I just took my paint pen and just made some squigglies, and I couldn't get the stickers off. So I just said, forget it, and made some little squigglies and called it a day. And like I said, oh, I forgot about this part. So I have all these shapes and little wood shapes and stuff. So I found one that's the shape of a stop sign. I painted it red and wrote the word stop on there because I thought it was just a little bit too plain. The sign was just kind of like, eh. So I went ahead and, obviously you could draw this on there. But I remembered I had all these little pieces, so I decided to just do this with it. And I thought it came out cute and it works out well. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching and stopping, and to all my new subscribers, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you guys. And for my returning subscribers, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming back. And guys, until the next time, be blessed and be the reason someone smiles. Bye, guys.